Yeah.
Yeah. No, and but I agree with you. You're not going to see mainstream game devs get involved in this marketplace at first, and that's going to put a cap on it. But if, for instance, I'm going to put this out in the universe, if, for instance, there was a Charizard NFT, Donovan, how much would that be worth?
I regret to say that it'd probably be worth a lot of zeros behind whatever number. They'll probably sell for a lot of money.
Yeah,
Sadly.
because that's the other side of this is that GameStop values collectibles. Collectibles have been a huge part of their turnaround already. I think it's somewhere around 15-20% of revenues now. It used to be 1%. That acquisition of ThinkGeek played into that. Like they have a lot of collectibles, right? Already, physical ones. So NFTs are kind of an extension of that for them. If they can create digital, like, have you guys seen the South Park episode where Butters is shilling NFTs?
No.
You guys really need to watch that episode. Anyway,
Uh,
GameStop is Butters. Like, GameStop's not going to put too much skin in the game. Like, the investment that you're talking about, Chris, it is in the hundreds of millions. But like I said, they have 1.4 billion in cash. They didn't bet the company on this marketplace, is my point. If it doesn't succeed, they just shut it down. Right? It's like Congregate in that
like
sense.
going back to your example of they will make a percentage on the resale of this Charizard NFT or whatever.
Mhm.
What incentive does Game Freak or Pokemon Company or whatever that owns the rights to that issues it initially? Why would they give away their cut to GameStop?
Because they don't have a marketplace. Like, how you would have to go on OpenSea, still give them your cut. Like,
Like,
where do you sell an NFT? You have to go to a marketplace for it.
yeah,
Unless you and because Pokemon doesn't want to build their own damn marketplace. They don't want to take that risk, right? So it's way easier for them to send a JPEG of a Charizard to GameStop and let them worry about it. They just cash the check. It's not unlike licensing their content to a TV publisher or something. You know, like
yeah.
I
But
think
we've seen in those markets, including games, the moment that there's money to be made, that the licensing goes out the window, and everybody rolls their own.
yeah.
If there's any money involved in it, and then just becomes an even worse, awful market for everybody that's not the shareholder.
So at that point, what you're saying is that GameStop ships this marketplace, they take share from OpenSea, Ubisoft does one Assassin's Creed card, and they're like, "Hey, we made $100 million off one stupid card. Maybe we should make our own." And then Uplay pivots to an NFT marketplace, and Epic Game Store pivots to an NFT marketplace. If that happens, that's like what happened with Tesla. It's like, oh, you proved the concept. It worked. And you have a lead now. But you're right that a lot of these first parties would just make their own thing, right? So that's why they're building it with this $150 million grant, right? To pay smaller devs to make things on the platform. And then that might there's some what do you call them, like thresholds that they can hit that they unlock more funding for that thing. So it's I don't know. I think that's a good point, but I think if that's true, if like what you're talking about is true and actually happens, GameStop will have already succeeded on the NFT side of things.
But wouldn't they have to immediately pivot to some other market because then that is dried up as soon as the licensors are like with Netflix, having to make their own stuff or they go away. Like,
Yeah, like GameStop becomes basically a publisher.
yeah,
Yes, I think that's very possible.
it just seems
Yeah.
like a lot of what ifs and conditional stuff just for a hope. Like a
Well,
lot of
and
things have to go
that's
perfect.
kind of what I was going at earlier too. Is that like the NFT market is not something that I'm initially thrilled about. It's an opportunity for them for sure, but the thing that makes GameStop a continuing contender and an interesting story is that they're transforming their company with a lot of more feasible things in the short run as they also set up this NFT thing. Like they put up like what, three or four new online ordered fulfillment centers within the last couple years, if
Mhm.
I'm not mistaken. So like they're transfer, and then also the monitor sales, all the hardware. Yes, that doesn't have good margins on it, but the fact of the matter is they're building into things that they ought to have been doing already
Mhm.
and things that make sense for them to do in their everyday business in the short run. And like that's the kind of stuff where like it's not just opportunities that they're taking on trends, it's also feasibly it's sensible things that will that should be part of their business strategy already.
And it actually is going to lead to some customer loyalty. I will not buy a physical game from Amazon. I won't do it because so many times have I seen friends pre-order a game from Amazon only to get that email that you're not getting it until 3 days later or
Oh, that's
something.
the same as GameStop. They never have a fucking pre-order.
I mean, I beg to differ. I've gotten a lot of my pre-orders through them. I haven't been getting physical games very much, but my hardware I've been buying through them.
Well,
I bought my Series X through them, my PS5 through them, and my SWOLED through them.
but like going back to the thing TJ said about pivoting to the monitors and GPUs, like the physical space they need to hold one GPU, they can have 8 Funko Pops, and they make way more margin on a single Funko Pop sale in a random store than they do on that GPU. Like,
But
I don't.
that's what's interesting. They're not putting the GPUs on the shelf.
But they still have to
It's
physically hold them somewhere. Like,
Yeah, in that facility in Florida and the one in Nevada.
I guess
Like,
the question is, why would you take the risk on the no margin thing that takes up 10 times the space?
I think it's to breed customer loyalty. Hey, I got it. Like, I'm gonna throw this out there. Have you heard of cult stocks before?
No.
Like, Apple was a cult stock. People worshipped Steve Jobs, right? They're like, oh, he's the greatest. And it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy because you bought Apple for 60 cents and it's trading for 170 now. It's made you a millionaire, so you're loyal to them for that sense. But you're also loyal to that guy because you think he can do no wrong. Another example of this is Elon Musk over at Tesla. Tesla is very much a cult stock. The people who invest in the company become very dedicated customers, right? I call it my reverse Apple dividend or my reverse Nintendo dividend. I give Nintendo money knowing that it's going to come back to me because I'm a shareholder.